Welcome back to my 5th grade language arts class, and today is going to be a continuum of our last lesson, which was about figurative languages, similes and metaphors, and this lesson is going to focus on onomatopoeias and personification while still touching on similes and metaphors. So this lesson also is going to have stations in it. So to open up this lesson, I wanted you guys to have a little conversation. I wanted to discuss with each other. So tell me what you remember from our last lesson. Tell me what it is that we talked about. What was it we talked about? So, now that we know what we talked about, and I want you to tell me what the definition of figurative language is. Also, tell me what a metaphor is. What is a simile? And then what are these two types of figurative language doing? Are they comparing? How are they comparing? So, a simile compares using like or as, and a metaphor compares two things not using like or as. It does not use those two words, but it's still comparing two things. So the new topics that we're going to talk about today are personification and onomatopoeias. So I want you to take a stab at what you think an onomatopoeia is. I also want you to tell me what personification is. So now I'm going to throw up some Google Slides, and we are going to learn more about onomatopoeias and personification. So an onomatopoeia is the formation of a word from a sound associated with what is named. So an example of this would be, there was a loud bang on the door. Notice that the word bang is italicized. That is what helps us indicate that it is an onomatopoeia, because there's sound associated with that. Our door is slamming shut. And then what is personification? So personification is the attribution of a personal nature or human characteristics to something non-human, or the representation of an abstract quality in human form. So an example of this is going to be, the lightning danced across the sky. So also notice in this example that the danced is italicized. So this means that this lightning, which is not a human, is dancing, but lightning can't dance. So it means something different than what it's saying. The lightning was striking, but this says the lightning danced across the sky. The flames ate hungrily at the burning house. So, what does this mean? What type of figurative language is this? The flames ate hungrily at the burning house. So first, let's indicate what is happening. So, ate. The flames are eating something. A flame cannot eat something. So, this means that it is personification, because a flame cannot eat like you and I can. It cannot do a human thing. More so, a flame can burn. A flame is burning, and it's making something go away. So like if you have a fire and wood is burning, there's a flame and the wood is turning to ash. The next one, my cat purrs often when I scratch his tummy. So in this example, what is happening here is the cat is purring. So it's making a noise, a sound, when its tummy gets scratched. So this is an example of an onomatopoeia because it's making a sound, a noise. The cat is making a noise. There's a word making a noise. So now that we know what personification and onomatopoeias are, we are going to head into our stations. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have two separate stations. And in these stations, we're going to have one station where we work on similes and metaphors as review. And we're also going to work on identifying onomatopoeias and personification. So what I want to do is I'm going to separate everybody off into two separate groups. And in your groups, I'm going to allow you to work with other people if you need it. So this means that you can be like, can I get some help on this question because I don't really know what it is, and work together to figure out what that answer is, whether it's an onomatopoeia or a personification. So let's look at the similes and metaphors worksheet. And so it says the directions are read the sentences and determine what type of figurative language it is. Is it a simile or a metaphor? Write it on the line. So let's go over this first one. The cloud was fluffy like cotton candy. So with similes, we know that if it uses like or as, that it's a simile. If it doesn't use like or as, it's most likely a metaphor. So the cloud was fluffy like cotton candy. This uses the word like, so we're going to go with that it is a simile. Now I want to draw your attention to the bottom. There is a challenge. I want you to try, if there's time in our stations, I want you to try writing your own simile. And I want you to use like or as, and I want you to compare two things. Now let's go ahead and look at the onomatopoeias and personification worksheet. So the directions on this one are read the sentences and determine what type of figurative language it is. Is it an onomatopoeia or personification? Write it on the line. So, the owl hooted in the tree. What is happening in this sentence? The owl is hooting. So, that is a sound. That means that if it's a sound, it's going to be an onomatopoeia. So, the owl hooted in the tree. That's an onomatopoeia. So, for your challenge, what I want you to do is I want you to try writing your own onomatopoeia using a sound. The bee buzzes as it's flying in the air. Something like that. Use a word that indicates sound. And then go ahead and get into your stations. We are, I want you guys to work in your stations, and you'll get about a few minutes to work on these papers. And then when you are done, I would like you to turn it in. And also on your Chromebooks, if it is easier for you, you can have the slides that I have made and have them up on your Chromebooks with the definitions of personification and onomatopoeia and the examples. Those will be very helpful to you when you are doing your worksheets. If you did not finish these worksheets today, these worksheets are going to be homework. So just keep that in mind. Well, our lesson today has come to a close. It's the end of the period, and I hope that you had a good day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.